For centuries, they were Japan's most feared warriors, sword in hand, honor above life. We call them samurai and everyone thinks they're gone. But here's the twist. What if the samurai never actually died out? What if their descendants are still walking among us? And their code is quietly shaping the modern world. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at the word samurai the same way again. Movies tell us a simple story. The samurai were an ancient warrior class crushed by guns, Western armies, and modern technology. One last heroic battle, one last noble warrior, fade to black. The Last Samurai. It's a powerful story, but reality, much messier, and much more interesting. Because the samurai didn't vanish in one battle, they faded out of sight, while their influence moved somewhere else. First, let's clear something up. The samurai weren't just sword-swinging fighters in armor. For almost 800 years, they were Japan's ruling class. They were military officers, government officials, landowners, scholars and poets, advisors to the shogun and the emperor. A samurai didn't spend every day charging into battle. Many spent more time with brush and ink than with blood and steel. Their power came from a unique mix of military skill, social status, and a strict moral code called Bushidō, the way of the warrior. Bushidō taught loyalty, discipline, self-control, and the idea that honor matters more than life. But the world was changing, and fast. For centuries, Japan kept itself closed off from most of the world. Then, in the mid-1800s, Western powers arrived with warships, cannons, and one message: open your ports, or else. Japan faced a choice: stay the same, and be crushed, or modernize, and survive. This led to a revolution called the Meiji Restoration in 1868. The old shogun government, backed by many samurai, was replaced. A new emperor-led government took over, and it wanted to turn Japan into a modern nation. To do that, it needed something uncomfortable, a break from the past, including the samurai class. Step by step, the new government began dismantling the samurai system. Samurai stipends, basically, their lifelong salary, were cancelled. New land and tax reforms broke their economic power. A modern conscription army replaced the samurai warrior class. And in 1876, the government passed the Sword Abolishment Edict, banning samurai from wearing their swords in public. Imagine that. Your status, your symbol, your entire identity, suddenly illegal. Many samurai were angry. Some were lost. And one man decided to fight back. His name was Saigo Takamori. Once a top leader in the new government, he became its most famous rebel. In 1877, he led thousands of former samurai in the Satsuma Rebellion, a desperate attempt to defend the old ways against modern rifles and artillery. They fought bravely, they fought with swords against guns, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. The rebellion was crushed. Saigo Takamori is said to have died on the battlefield, and over time, people began to call him the Last Samurai. It's a powerful symbol. But was he really the last? Not even close. When the samurai class was abolished, most didn't die in battle. They had families, homes, skills, education. So what happened to them? Many former samurai simply changed uniforms. They became officers in the modern Japanese army, police officers, judges, and government administrators, business leaders and founders of major companies, teachers and intellectuals. In other words, they stopped being samurai in title, but kept their training, discipline, and mindset. Their children and grandchildren grew up not as sword-wielding warriors, but as part of the backbone of modern Japan. The samurai didn't vanish, they blended into the fabric of a new society. Even today, you can still feel the echo of the samurai. You see it in Kendo, a modern martial art based on samurai sword fighting, Judo, Aikido, Karate, all infused with discipline and self-mastery. The tea ceremony refined and formalized by warrior elites. Traditional swordsmiths still hand-forging katanas with ancient techniques. Zen and minimalism valued by samurai seeking clarity and control. School and work culture emphasizing duty, effort, loyalty, and responsibility. There are even families today who can trace their lineage back to samurai clans. They don't walk around in armor, they don't carry swords, but their ancestors once did, and the values of honor, resilience, and discipline still shape how many people in Japan and around the world think about life. So, did the samurai die out? If you're asking about the class, the official warrior rank with armor, land, and legal privileges, yes. The samurai class was abolished over 100 years ago. But if you're asking about the spirit of the samurai, the answer is very different. That spirit lives on in modern martial arts, Japanese traditions, everyday discipline and work ethic, and in the descendants of those warrior families, the samurai didn't simply vanish, they evolved, from warriors with swords and into citizens with influence. And that's the truth behind The Last Samurai. He wasn't truly the last. If this changed how you see history, hit like, share this with someone who loves samurai stories, and subscribe for more interesting facts and stay curious.